Today we are going to talk about how to find volume of figures. The first figure we are going to talk about is prisms. To find the volume of a prism, you take the area of the base times the height. Remember, the capital B stands for the area of the base and H stands for the height between your bases. So here I have a prism. So I'm going to start by writing out my formula for volume of a prism. And then looking at it, I see I have all quadrilateral sides, so I'm going to use the length times width formula. You might also hear this as base times height, but since we have a height in our volume formula, I am using the length times width. It is the same formula. Once I have my area of the base formula figured out, I can plug in my numbers. So I plug in 5 and 7. I just chose one of the quadrilateral sides to be my base, since when you have all rectangles, you can choose any side to be your base. And then my height is just the distance to the side parallel to my base. Once I have all my numbers plugged into my formula, I multiply straight across. And remember, your unit on volume is always cubed. Here I have another prism, and this time it is a triangular prism. So I'm going to start off by writing out my volume formula for a prism. And then I identify my base, which since I have triangles in this prism, my triangles are my base. So I write out my area of a triangle formula, which is half length times width. You will also hear this as half base times height. Once again, since I have height in my volume formula, I am going to use the length times width formula. Then I am going to plug in the numbers for my area of my triangle, so the numbers that form that right angle, which is 9 and 12, and then my height between the bases, which from going from one triangle to the other is 15 feet. Once I plug those in, I multiply straight across, and remember that your unit on volume is always cubed. Next, we're going to find the volume of cylinders. The formula for the volume of a cylinder is area of the base times the height. To find the area of a base of a cylinder, you take pi r squared. Notice the square is on only the r, so only your radius is squared. The h stands for the height between the bases, so the distance between one circle to the other circle. So here I have a cylinder. I'm going to start out by first writing out my volume of a cylinder formula, and then I need to start plugging in my numbers. Now notice how the numbers we are given on our figure, the 4 inches is the distance all the way across the circle. That is the diameter. Our formula needs the radius, so we do our diameter divided by 2 to find our radius. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, so I can plug that into my formula. We are going to simplify this. So today we are going to be using 3.14 for pi, and we're going to square our 2, so 2 squared, which is 2 times 2 is 4, and then I can multiply straight across.